Hey everybody, it's John again. Have just a short episode that I want to do today. I know some of my baseball card videos have been rather long, 33 minutes, 36 minutes, so thank you to those of you who've been sticking around watching them. Most of my videos are being posted on Facebook, not all of them. And then whatever isn't being posted there is being pasted on YouTube. So I have a special channel on YouTube just for sports related content. Everything else goes on another channel. So if you like my videos, hey, give me a shout, leave something in the comments, tell me what you like, tell me what could be improved. I'm always looking for feedback. I mentioned today is going to be a short video. I have just a couple of packs that I want to open today, and then I have this game card that I found in a 1992 Topps pack, so I'm going to get to that. I also have this 81 Donruss. This is the original Donruss set from 1981, and I think it's a very attractive set, personally. So I'm eager to see what's in here. This is one of the few Donruss sets that actually came with gum, and so we have some 39-year-old gum in here. I'm not going to be doing the gum. You know that. That's kind of an ongoing theme. Anytime there's gum in one of these packs, if you want to see somebody try gum from the 80s, Google it. There are plenty of YouTube videos out there. I've seen Padres broadcasters do it. Mark Grant and Don Orsillo tried some 30-year-old gum on the air last year during a Padre game. It's funny. It's not for me. It's not something I want to try. Just it seems entirely unpleasant. I have trouble enough with leftovers. I don't want to try something that's 39 years old. Um, so if you want to see that, I'm sorry, you'll have to look elsewhere for that. But I will try to have some fun with these. I'm going to start today with a pack that I picked up at Target yesterday. Topps 2020 Series 1. Now, I think I know what to expect here because I think I've seen some of these already. I picked up a Padres team set, and so I think I'm familiar with the design. But you never know. Last time I opened up a pack and I thought I knew what was coming, it turned out to be something completely different. So let's see what we got here. All right, so 16 cards. I forget how much it cost me. I think maybe $4, maybe $5. Okay, and I like the design. There's a good start anyway. Justin Verlander. You can't get much better than that right off the start. Legendary, first ballot, sure thing, Hall of Famer, no problem there. Oh, this is. I was wondering what this was. This is a anti-theft device. It's a little. Probably can't see it. There's a little sticker on there, a little magnetic tag. There it is. So anti-theft device at Target. I don't know if all the packs come that way or if that's just a Target thing. But yeah, started out with Justin Verlander. That's not bad. Reds outfielder Aristides Aquino. He did something to really. Yeah, he caught a lot of headlines last year. That's what it was. Yeah, it says so here. Called up by the Reds late in 2019, no player in history hit his first 10 home runs quicker than Aristides Aquino, who needed just 16 games. Finished with 28 home runs in just 78 games. Wow. That's impressive, and there's no way he can keep up that pace over the course of a career, but that ballpark in Cincinnati is way too small. Anybody can hit a home run there. We'll see where his career goes from here. Angels pitcher Luis Garcia, there you go. Braves outfielder Austin Riley. Again, I'm looking primarily for the Padres, but I have some friends in mind for other teams. If you see something you like here, I want to keep the Verlander, but if you see something you like other than that, let me know, and maybe we can work out a deal. Starlin Castro from the Miami Marlins, one of the few bright spots on that team. Here's Jordan Yamamoto. He's got some talent too. Same team, Miami Marlins. I got to say, I don't like the Marlins look currently. I wish they would go back to the teal and the pinstripes that they originally had when they were the Florida Marlins. This is better than what they had been using for the most of the last decade, but still, I don't like the black print on black uniform. It's just, you can't see it. So, anyways, Miles Michaelis with the St. Louis Cardinals in that really gorgeous powder blue uniform. Talking about a uniform I didn't like with the Marlins. This is one that really works. This just screams 1982. Maybe for some 1985. I think they were kind of done with it by 1985. But when I say these, I'm thinking of Lonnie Smith, Ozzie Smith, Vince Coleman, guys like that from the early 80s. The powder blues on the St. Louis Cardinals, that is and always will be a good look. Yeah, Miles Michaelis also played for San Diego. I thought he sounded familiar. Okay. Jeff McNeil of the New York Mets. Pulled that one off the bottom of the deck. We have a Cubs walk-off home run. So, okay, this is a Cubs checklist. Okay. Checklists over the years have come and taken many forms. I know for many years it was, when I was growing up, you'd get a card that had the manager of the team, and then on the back it would list all the different players on the team. So they've gotten away from that, but this is a Cubs checklist. So if you're a hardcore Cubs fan, you want to make sure you have all the right cards, everybody in the set. You just check it against this checklist. Make sure you've got everybody. So Indians catcher Roberto Perez, and again, I like the landscape format on the card as opposed to the portrait format. You know, landscape, sideways. I like that. I think it's a good look. Here's another landscape. Freddie Peralta of the Brewers. Props to you, Milwaukee Brewers, for bringing back the old logo, the ball in glove. That's a classic. Don't ever go away from that again. Logan Allen of the Cleveland Indians. I want to say, I feel like he came up with San Diego at some point. Drafted by the Reds. Yeah, trade with the Padres. Okay, yeah, he was with us for a while. Oh, he must have gone in the Franmil Reyes trade. That's what it was. Okay. Aaron Civale of the Cleveland Indians, pitcher. Ooh, this could be worth something someday. This is a early Vlad Guerrero Jr. Now, Vlad did not hit the scene quite as well as people wanted him to in 2019. Of course, his father, Vladimir Guerrero Sr., the Hall of Famer for the Montreal Expos and the Anaheim Angels, among others. But, yeah, his son, Vlad Jr., is supposed to be the next big thing in Toronto. We'll see. He kind of showed flashes of that at times last year, 2019. He could still get there. We'll see. This is a fun one. Marcus Stroman. Speaking of Toronto Blue Jays, spent many years with the Blue Jays before going over to the Mets last year. Prominent baseball players. So this is kind of a good look on the card. They're obviously trying to emulate an old-timey, maybe 1940s, maybe earlier than that. This is not a photo, it's more of a painting of Marcus Stroman. And then on the back, too, you can tell just by the font, they're really aiming for almost a 1920s feel to this one. So you can see where they're going on this. It says prominent baseball players, and baseball is 2 words. So, yeah, that's a dead giveaway. They're going for a definite retro thing with this. One thing I like about Marcus Stroman, I haven't watched a lot of his career, but he is one of the pitchers who has been using a single-digit number on the back of his uniform. And that almost never happens, or at least it didn't used to. It's gaining some traction now. Guys like Clayton Richard for the Padres was doing it for a while. Adam Ottavino, the reliever, because of his names, he likes to wear 0. Stroman wore number 6 for many years with the Blue Jays, and he was one of the first. It's an odd look when you watch a ball game and the pitcher's only got a single digit on the back of his uniform. It throws you off. You're not used to seeing that. So, anyways, last card in the deck, Jock Peterson of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So, not a bad set. The Verlander, I think we peaked right away. That's definitely a good one. Vlad Jr. could be a good one. So, Topps 2020 Series 1. I don't like how they do Series 1, Series 2. I wish they would go back to releasing the whole set all at once and then a traded set at the end of the season, which is what they did for all through the 80s. So, I wish they would go back to that. I'm going to bring this out. This is a game card that I found in a 92 Topps set in one of my last videos. So we'll give it a try. What you have to do is I give you a statistic, this random number 22 up here, and it's like a lottery ticket. You scratch it off, and the number 22 scratches off, then you win a prize. And let's see what that prize would have been back in 1992. Well, it would have been a pack of 10 cards from the Topps Gold Series. The Topps Gold Series in 1992 looked like every other Topps card in 1992, except it was literally gold-plated. The print, I want to say this is a 92 Topps here. This is not the gold. This is not the Gold Series, but where it says Padres, Thomas Howard, that all would have been in gold, like actual gold, and then the Topps logo would have been gold too. So, the Topps Gold Series, they tried to market it as something I think bigger than it was. I don't know if you get anything necessarily for a Topps Gold set now. Maybe it's worth looking up, but at any rate, this game piece from 1992 would not be worth much now. Okay, so I scratched off one number 22. There's an out, force out, pop out, a 22. Okay, all right, am I going to win? I got two 22s and a bunch of outs and one more to scratch off. Let's see if I would have won anything back in 1992. And yes, this is a game winner. So, hey, Topps people, if you're listening, you owe me 10 cards. I will go back in time in my DeLorean and redeem this. This is a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Figures. With my luck, I would win a contest that's 28 years old. So, anyways, let's get to the big prize. This is one that I've been looking forward to. I've been hanging on to this for about a week. This is the 81 Donruss set. Let's start out. And Donruss came out along with Fleer in 1981. These were the first two companies to really challenge Topps in the baseball card industry since the original Bowman series back in the 50s. So Topps had the monopoly on the market throughout the 60s, throughout the 70s. And then in 81, Donruss came out, Fleer came out, a little later on Score and Sportflix and Upper Deck, and Topps really had to step up their game just to compete. Topps is always going to be the number one, the Topps as it were. But these two made the industry more interesting throughout the 80s, and you can find some gold in here sometimes. It was Upper Deck that really pushed the envelope. So this is interesting right off the bat. See, I love the look on this. Just the big font at the bottom. No question what team he's playing for. In fact, I will probably give this one to my buddy who's a Yankees fan, but this is Gaylord Perry. Oh man, the wax on this. 39 years of wax buildup on the front of this card. Whew, you can feel it. There is a texture to it. It feels like somebody's old birthday candles, but oh my god. That is a very waxy Gaylord Perry. That's appropriate, right? If you knew anything about Gaylord Perry and the way he would liberally use the spitball and whatever substance he could come up with, it's only appropriate. Gaylord Perry card covered in wax. How perfect is that? So, anyways, this was after Gaylord Perry played his time with the San Diego Padres and won a Cy Young Award with them, I believe, at the age of 38, 1978. No, he was 40 years old when he won the Cy Young Award. Okay, so had two really good seasons with the Padres. Here he is with the Yankees, and he played for a number of other teams. So famously, you might see Gaylord Perry in his custom-made uniform with about 9 different team logos on it. So if you ever see him, I'm going to set this one aside. That's a good one for my Yankees friend. Oh my, oh look at this. I just got to the gum. Oh my gosh, it is stuck to the card, and unfortunately, that's a good card, too. That's a Lou Whitaker. Lou Whitaker should be in the Hall of Fame, ladies and gentlemen. He should be in the Hall of Fame. But, oh, man, 38-year-old gum stuck to his card. This is going to be a reclamation project. I'm going to see. Oh, my God, look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, my God. I will see if I can recover this, but that's 38 years of buildup. That is probably locked on there, sealed. Man, Lou Whitaker, I apologize, man. I'm always pushing for you for the Hall of Fame, but you deserve better than this. Oh, my goodness. It's like he stepped in gum. 38-year-old gum. 39-year-old gum. Oh, man. All right, I'm going to work on this, and we'll see if we can salvage the card anyway. That gum, though, oh my god, even the color is all wrong on that. Look at that. Gum should be pink. It should not be that color. I don't know what it looked like originally. That's like a beige, brown. It's lost any semblance of pink that it might once have had. Oh, it's all pockmarked. I mean, I suppose I should be impressed that it's still intact after 39 years, because I have opened some other packs where the gum was just brittle powder. Oh my gosh. Okay. I can't handle that. That's too much. Let's go back to the cards. That's too much. Scott Sanderson, Expos pitcher, had some good years with the Cardinals. I always like Expos cards. I don't care for the Washington Nationals, but I will always be an Expos fan. So, even, I've always been a Padres fan. I like the Cubs. I like the Expos. There's some other teams that I like. I'm not a huge fan, but, teams that I think of favorably. The Expos were always that. Even growing up, you knew there was something just a little bit different about Canada, about baseball in French, outfield walls with the measurements from home plate in meters and not in feet. So something about the Montreal Expos, very different, very fun, and I hope within my lifetime, or maybe even within the next 10 years or so, we will see baseball come back to Montreal. I think it's realistic. I think it can happen. Oh, man. Okay. All right. Let me go back here. Rangers pitcher Doc Medich. I couldn't tell you anything about him, but I do love that Rangers look, that powder blue. Early 80s, powder blue was everywhere. So you saw it in the Expos. You saw it in the St. Louis Cardinals, even though that was a modern-day card. Powder blue, here's again with the Seattle Mariners. Powder blue, huge back in this era. The late 70s, the early 80s, seemed like half the league was wearing that powder blue. And it worked for some better than others. Seattle, I think it works just fine. Montreal, I think it works just fine. Texas Rangers, good look. You saw the St. Louis Cardinals earlier. It's a good look. By the way, if you have any early 80s Seattle Mariners or late 70s Seattle Mariners, good luck, because there's not a lot of talent on those teams. Ooh, this is fun. Speaking of powder blues, St. Louis Cardinals catcher Terry Kennedy famously played for the 1984 Padres, went to the Orioles and Giants after that, but Terry Kennedy, in fact, it even mentions, this is an 81 card, still shows him with the Cardinals. This is his last Cardinal card, though, because on the back it even mentions his trade to the San Diego Padres. Traded with Steve Swisher, Mike Phillips. I think that's the same Mike Phillips who played for Oakland in the 80s, the infielder. Al Olmsted, Kim Seaman, John Littlefield, and John Urea. This is a big-time trade, by the way. You don't see blockbusters like this anymore. 7 players going in one direction for 6 to the other. That's crazy. You don't see that anymore. In exchange for Raleigh Fingers, Gene Tennis, Bob Shirley, and Bob Guerin. Now, Raleigh Fingers did not stick in St. Louis because they traded him to Milwaukee 4 days later, but still a lot of talent changing hands on that one trade alone. Tony Bernazard, Expos, second baseman, another powder blue. And Tony Bernazard made his big name with the Cleveland Indians. He was a shortstop, second baseman for them all through the 80s, and made at least one all-star team, probably a couple more. But he was one of those who really made his noise in Cleveland. Cardinals, powder blue. Here we go. Silvio Martinez. Couldn't tell you first thing about him. 1977, acquired by the Cardinals from the White Sox as payment for deals that had sent shortstop Don Kessinger and Clay Carroll to Chicago early in the year. Okay, it's funny how these guys. Nice fro on this guy, by the way. I love the hairdo. But it's funny how some of these guys can be connected to legendary players just through a trade. I mean, Terry Kennedy connected to guys like Raleigh Fingers. Here we go. Tom Paciorek. The powder blue parade continues. Another Mariner, Tom Paciorek, or Wimpy, as he's known. Now, okay, this one I might need to research because 2 reasons. One, Hawk and Wimpy, Tom Paciorek and Ken Harrelson for the Chicago White Sox were a tremendous broadcast team, widely hated by some. I mean, when Hawk retired, when Ken Harrelson retired, a lot of people out there in baseball were like, thank goodness. I loved him. I loved the guy. I thought these two made a great broadcast team. The only reason to watch White Sox games on WGN. And Paciorek, I know, came up with the Dodgers. So I liked his work in the broadcast booth. More than that, I think in one of the baseball groups that I'm in on Facebook, I think his daughter is still posting stuff on his behalf. He's still alive, but I mean, his daughter is active on Facebook. I'll see if I can track her down and say, hey, get your dad to sign this for me. So you never know. But I appreciated Tom Paciorek in the broadcast booth. Really didn't get to see him as a player, but decent player. Here's another guy underappreciated in this day, Al Oliver. Powder Blue Parade continues. Al Oliver is quite possibly the best hitter in baseball not to make the Hall of Fame. And of those who are eligible, I know Shoeless Joe is ineligible, Pete Rose ineligible. Guys like Ichiro Suzuki aren't in yet. But of those players who are eligible, this guy may have the most hits of any player not in the Hall of Fame. So I think he finished his career with something like 2,800, 2,900 maybe. Didn't quite get that magic number 3,000, but had a good long career. Texas, played in Pittsburgh, played in Montreal, played in a lot of places where maybe he didn't get a lot of publicity. If you're trying to make a name for yourself, you don't play in places like Pittsburgh, Montreal, Texas. But had a lot of good seasons. Definitely a good, solid player. At this time, by 1981, he had, excuse me, I just dropped the card. He had 2,028 hits. So we had mentioned earlier Lou Whitaker as a possibility for the Hall of Fame. I think this guy has a strong case as well. Probably should be in. So, anyways, but I'm a softie. You know, I feel like more players in the Hall of Fame makes it a better Hall of Fame. Tigers catcher Lance Parrish had a good long. He would have to go and kill the Powder Blue Parade, but Tigers catcher Lance Parrish had a lot of good seasons with the Tigers, including 1984, which we do not talk about. Powder Blue, Larry Gura of the Kansas City Royals. Spent a lot of years in Kansas City, if I'm not mistaken. Had a good long career. Yeah, I always think of him with the Royals. I know he bounced around a little bit, but good career, and I think he did his best work in Kansas City. Indians pitcher Wayne Garland, couldn't tell you really much about him. Dodgers outfielder Darryl Thomas, and the only reason I know Darryl Thomas is because he was also a Padres outfielder for a long time. Infield too, I believe. Yeah, I think of him as more of an infielder, but yeah, 1978, signed with Dodgers as a free agent after playing out his option with the Padres. So, yeah, he spent, I believe, 2 different stints with the Padres on some very bad teams. But he was on that 1978 Padres team that, for the first time, came out of the season with a winning record. Took them 8 years, 9 years, but they finally did get a winning record in 1978. Okay, got a few more here. Orioles outfielder Pat Kelly does not look pleased at all to having his picture taken. Some of the guys, you can tell, are just glad to be in the big leagues. They're happy to have their picture taken for a baseball card. He looks like he'd rather be anywhere else, right? He looks a little bit pissed off. Yeah, maybe he's having a bad day. Who knows? John Milner, let me see here. Pirates first baseman John Milner. I actually caught on TV, since we're having the coronavirus and there's no live baseball, I caught the 1979 World Series between the Pirates and the Orioles, and I think John Milner was in that game, so very likely would have been. Yeah, I think I did see him. I actually got to see him play on a replay from 1979. And was actually traded for Al Oliver at one point, 1977. So some of these guys are connected. And then the last card here, White Sox first baseman Mike Squires. The only reason I'm going to point this out is because of those incredible collars on the White Sox uniforms back in 1980-81. This was after they had the experiment of wearing the shorts, but the White Sox, they've gone through a number of looks over the years. This was not one of the better ones. They would greatly improve those looks in the 80s and finally settle on something that would stick in the 1990s. So, anyways, but that was fun. Just had a couple of card packs for you here today. My next video, for those who are interested, I did get this big Topps 2020 Heritage set, and again, it's in the 1971 look. So, modern cards designed like it's 1971, even got the 1971 logo on there. I really like this set, and this one has 72 cards. That's, they say it's 7 packs plus an extra pack. To me, that means 8 packs. But, anyways, so 72 cards. Maybe in the next video, I'll open all 72 of them. We'll see. All 8 packs. We'll see if I can keep it under a half hour. So, anyways, that's all for right now. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed the video, comment, let me know, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.